Welcome back to another Magic Monday. These are the days that I'm very confused about, and I will explain why in just a second. Smash the like button while I play this thingy. So, I've never really understood why you have the stock market and you have the bond market. And there are certain holidays, like today, which is Columbus Day, where the bond market is closed, but the stock market is open. And to get an entire market moving in the right direction, you need both, because they both play off of each other. So I have always been amazingly confused of why you just don't close the stock market on days that you close the bond market. So with that being said, I do not think that today's... I have never traded on days where the bond market is closed and the stock market is open, just because the volume isn't there on a regular basis. We have a lot of news coming up this week. Coupled with that, we have the CPI data coming out on Wednesday, and just all this inflationary stuff that's coming out. So that's just my little opinion of how I go about things. But with that being said, I don't get it. Just another thing that makes no sense in this world to me. But here we go. Let's get into some other stuff. The week ahead, the stock market, news, live updates, stock futures fall as inflation concerns persist, oil jumps. Oil is crushing it. I hope that a lot of you guys got in there when oil was surging, like I said to do, because it was great. Okay, so stock futures fell on this morning. Well, when I woke up this morning, they were pretty low. Now they're pretty much even. So inflation and supply chains are causing the issue. The 10-year yield is hovering around 1.6%. That's the highest level since last June. So keep an eye on those interest rates. I hope for 6% inflation. Your hope is very likely to come true. But don't worry, it'll only be transitory. Jumping, West Texas Intermediate crude oil futures jumped another 3% on Monday to $82 a barrel. We're going to be at $100 a barrel in no time. I mean, here you have Brent crude, which is already at $84 a barrel. Elevated demand and supply side shortages have pushed for prices and commodities from oil to natural gas to cotton. Labor shortages have also raised the specter of last week increasing wages. So we talk about increasing wages. I don't necessarily think that increasing wages because there's so much labor shortage is defined as increasing wages. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're increasing the wages, but are you really increasing the wages? You don't have any workers, so what are we doing here? CPI data comes out this week. Stagflation is, of course, a concern. Over the last 60 years, the S&P 500 has returned 2.5% on median per quarter, but has fallen 2.1% during periods of stagflation or times of high inflation with weak GDP growth. Despite near-term uncertainty, we expect the equity market. This is the Costin. I don't know who wrote this article or where he's from. Doesn't matter. We expect to see the equity market will continue to rally as investors gain confidence that the current pace of inflation is transitory. Do you guys think it's transitory? Type yes or no. I can't wait to hear this. The yields are now disruptive. The yields are absolutely disruptive. Absolutely disruptive. Do you think oil and natural gas will shoot higher? I certainly do. Where's my bell? Right here. Good question. Wendy's went from $10.50 to $13 an hour. Yeah, because they can't find anybody to go work. So yeah, you're increasing the wage and you're giving it to one more person, but you have less people that you're paying. So are you really increasing wages? I mean, yes, of course you're increasing wages. The wages went up, but there's less people working. They wouldn't be increasing those wages if there were people that were working there. So we're just like going in circles here talking about semantics. That's really what's happening. No. Yeah, there's no, exactly. I don't see one yes. There's one. Okay, I got one yes that says inflation is transitory. Oil is disruptive. Short SW Air. I don't know what that is. Southwest? Morgan Stanley, still calling for a 10 to 20% crash. The reason I pulled this story up, it's kind of like a pat on my back. Like a see, I told you so. But here we go. The firm calls for 10 to 20% correction, led by tech stocks, of course, because tech shouldn't lead the market, as I've always said. What leads markets? What leads markets? Banks. Pay attention. I said the things that we need to lead the market: banks, industrials, materials, consumer goods. Banks is one of them, number one. Consumer staples like Pepsi, number two. Pay attention to those. These are the ones that we need leading the market. Healthcare stocks, these are what we need leading the market. Not tech, not all this other disruptive crap that you have. You need true things that people buy on a daily basis, day-to-day basis that lead this market, not overpriced tech companies. And this goes for any time. I'm not just talking about right now in history. I'm talking about all throughout history. You want materials, industrials, consumer staples, banks, healthcare. Like, this is what you want leading markets. This is why we keep getting in these situations, because these tech companies just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing on such little amount of interest rate, and then at some point it just blows up in their face, and we get in the situations that we're in. So this article just says it perfectly. What should be going on? Interesting story right here. Jamie Dimon may have a point on the debt ceiling. Jamie Dimon basically came out and made a very controversial comment, which I think is a very logical comment, which begs the question: why does the U.S. keep doing this in this country, especially when, whatever. The point is, he said, why don't we just get rid of the debt ceiling? I want to pull this story up. It's not even a story. It's just this. This is from the government website. Congress has always restricted the level of debt. Okay, here we go. Congress has modified the debt limit 14 times since 2001. Then Congress raised the debt limit in 2002, May of 2003, November 2004, March 2006, September 2007. 2007-2008 was the financial crisis, which led to a series of debt limit increases. Housing and Economic Recovery Act, the Emergency Economic Stabilization. I mean, they just keep raising the debt ceiling over and over, and we just keep rolling down, just keep going. And where did this article stop? 2015. We haven't even included 2016 through current stage. So Jamie Dimon makes a very valid point. What is the point of having a debt ceiling and having all of this controversy every so often if all we're going to do is just keep raising it over and over because it keeps spending in check? Oh, okay. That sounds pretty good. I think it's helping. It's definitely helping. Sarcasm. What will the Fed do if the government hits the debt ceiling level again? The Federal Reserve won't sit on the sideline if Congress fails to extend the debt ceiling. Here is an interesting thing. Where was this? Columbia University, Adam Tooze said the U.S. Treasury debt market now is too big to fail. I think that's one of the most dangerous statements. Nothing is too big to fail. Absolutely nothing is too big to fail. Fed options. First, the Fed could delay or even temporarily reverse its plans to slow down its $120 billion per month asset purchases. Keep pumping the market. As a more unusual step, Perel said it would be for the Fed to lend against technically defaulted treasuries. This would provide liquidity to the market and would greatly diminish the odds of the failed treasury bill auction, and dealers would always loan the bills to the Fed in return for cash regardless of whether they would default. Then you have the nuclear option. The nuclear option, this is a dangerous one. The Fed wouldn't would be for Fed to credit the Treasury any money needed for the Treasury to operate normally. It would circumvent the debt ceiling, go around it, but also circumvent Congress, and the Fed would essentially become a fiscal authority, as if they're not already. This would have worrisome consequences in terms of inflationary dynamics, central bank independence, which would be gone and which is already kind of gone, and debt sustainability. You're reversing into emerging markets of the world. Creating money out of thin air, we already do that, would cause money to lose its value and accelerate inflation. You're already seeing it. The US dollar would fall sharply. I don't know why the dollar's up, but, well, yeah, we won't get into that. All right, let me read some of your comments. I've just been blabbing here. Which bank is your preference from a fundamental standpoint? I really don't know, but I really like Bank of America for some reason. Let's see here. Any questions? How about not raising the debt limit? Well, that's a novel idea. The king of sarcasm. Mo, which bank is your... I don't know. I don't have a preference on a bank. I like Bank of America. I don't know why. Where should we go next? Oh, let's just hit oil. I don't have anything to read in this story. I just want to tell you guys, keep trading oil. Keep trading oil. You're going to do very well. Follow it up. And if it comes down, it's going to come down hard. I don't have anything from this story either, but I just want to point out the headline. A major crypto hedge fund manager expects Bitcoin to tumble once the SEC greenlights a Bitcoin-backed ETF, and here's why. Once the government starts getting involved with things, that's when things change. And from the aspect of this, if the SEC starts paying attention and playing with Bitcoin, it's not the Bitcoin that you and I know it as of right now. It's going to have government intervention. This is the same reason that I don't want to have anything to do with marijuana stocks right now, because the government has not gotten involved yet. Once the government gets involved, the whole landscape changes, baby. And then you can figure it out from there. So get your oven mitts ready. Southwest Airlines cancels 1,800 flights blaming weather and staffing. I'm sure that this is getting hit pretty good. What do I think about tobacco companies? All good with me. All good with me. I like Altria Group. And I like that British tobacco too. Actually, Southwest Airlines cancels more than 1,800 flights this weekend, disrupting travel plans and thousands of customers standing flight crews. The airline blamed the meltdown of a combination of bad weather, air traffic control, and its own storage of available staff. So this is a funny story because you start looking at what they said, and then you start looking at what other people are saying, and it's really coming down to staffing issues mostly, but the airline's not saying that. They're saying that it was meltdowns of other issues. But you know what's funny? All of this really stemmed from an airport in Jacksonville, Florida. 1,800 flights were disrupted because of Jacksonville, Florida. Imagine if something like this happened at Newark or JFK or name any other big airport in the country. Like Atlanta, Orlando, sheesh. Staffing issues at the Jacksonville airport, no FAA air traffic staffing shortages have been reported since Friday, interestingly enough. Southwest had 3,614 flights scheduled on Sunday, the most since April 2020. That was right around the pandemic. Disparity between Southwest's operations and other airlines fueled speculation on social media that employees were calling out sick, some suggesting it was in a protest of COVID vaccine mandates. Southwest said that it was not the cause of the massive cancellation of flights. Anyways, go look at Southwest Airlines. That's basically my point. Pay attention to that one. That's it. Follow us on Instagram at TraderMo_EM. And there's the other two. Let me just read some of your comments. Any thoughts on a minimum 15% tax rate? I want a flat tax, to be honest with you, because I look at a flat tax and say drug dealers and basically homeless people are going to pay for what, go to the convenience store and they buy whatever they buy. They pay a flat tax. Rich guy buys a private jet. He pays the same tax rate. Everybody's chipping in at the same rate. There you go. That's a novel idea. All right. What else we got? What else do we have? Atlanta, Dulles, O'Hare. Yeah. You got to look at Fox later. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mo. Merck. Yeah, pay attention to Merck. I don't know what's going to happen with Merck. To me, all of this, anything that has to do with the COVID drugs are short-lasting effects. Just my opinion. And I don't even know if it's my opinion. Look at Pfizer, look at Moderna. They all come down at some point. It's a bunch of hype. They get the drug out there, realize it's not going to be the generating drug that they all thought it would, and then it comes back to life. So nothing's forever. 10-year rate, 1.61%. Interesting. All right, nothing today. Nothing, well, some tomorrow, but really Wednesday gets it going. Earnings season is back. JP Morgan, Delta, BlackRock will report. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Taiwan Semi. I'm not going to start reading these. All the banks start this week. So this kicks off earnings week. Wednesday it starts. CPI data Wednesday. So get going on that. If you want to join our software, hold on, I'm using a new mouse. $28 a month gets you that. Software, stock analyzer tool, everything. Join the community. If you want to jump into the Bid and Ask Nation with me, same thing, more exclusive content. For example, I did a private live stream on Saturday for everybody that was in the group. That went very well. I basically teach something and then I answer all your questions. We went about an hour and 15 minutes. If you want to join Paul's Super Shorts, $500 a month, access to me and Paul. If you want to join here, well, I'm getting so many that I'm slowing it down. So I'm gonna talk with Tim today, and we'll open this back up. But we just scheduled one more, actually two more over the weekend. So $750, 1 hour of a Zoom chat with me, and it is great. I love doing them. They're so much fun. And if you want to do a real estate deal with Paul, $10,000 for 4 hours. And if you're doing a deal in this market, it's probably beneficial to go ahead and do something with somebody that has been around for a hot minute. So, all right, guys, give me some of your stocks. We'll get into them, and we'll go from there. Do I prefer BIIB or BMY? BMY, a better pipeline? Nope. I am 100% on Team Biogen, and I think that Bristol-Myers management is some of the worst in the entire drug industry. So there's your answer. Let's look at Southwest Airlines. So Southwest right now is opening pre-market just about 52.25. Let's see here. So let's zoom out, just see what we got going on. Let's go 1 year. 1 year. No, it's not bad. I don't foresee this. So they were actually starting to form a very nice trend. I mean, all of the airlines were. If you look at jets, if you look at United Airlines, they were. But this is going to probably hinder that. So I would maybe take it over here to a short term, a daily chart, and see what you have. I mean, this one, if this thing yeah, it did. It's going to open below the 100-day moving average. So the next support level is right in here, about $50, $51. So keep a watch on Southwest. This might actually be something to day trade this morning, because I do think it will probably get a lot of yeah. All right, Daniel can confirm that my brother worked for them. Awful, just awful. They're so terrible. They acquired Celgene for $74 billion a couple of years ago. As if they weren't disorganized enough, they go and acquire basically a $74 billion company to throw 6,000 more employees on the fire. They're just terrible. And their current CEO is what we call a bozo. All right, let's see what we got here. Somebody asked, is this a flagpole, Fox? No, it's not. It's actually looking really good. This is exactly what you want to see when you make a climb. You want to pull up a line chart and see that you have pullback, pullback, pullback. You're making these higher lows. You're making these great W formations that are going up, creating this level of support in there. And this is absolutely perfect. This is your quintessential, perfect looking W formation pattern to the top. So if you caught this, congrats. Now, with that being said, let's see what we have going on here. This is a very big hammer, upside down hammer that we have going on. So upside down hammers typically mean you're going to reverse in direction. You can see that your daily's falling off. Your volume is still extremely consistent, but your daily is looking like it's going to do some kind of rollover. So just pay attention to that. Let's see, are we at all-time highs or something? Yeah, it's pushing up to some level. I mean, you're getting into that range of being at some kind of high, but I do not like that reverse hammer that's being thrown on there. All right, sounds personal, Mo. I don't have anything personal at all. I'm just not going to invest in a company that I don't believe in. Why would I do that? It's personal because it can affect my wallet. I can say the same thing about Merck. There is zero chance that I would invest in a company like Merck. Absolutely zero. Same thing. Management, I don't believe in it. You want me to go down the list? Moderna. Same thing. Let's keep going down the list so you can think that this is personal because you make ignorant comments like that. What other drug companies out there? Johnson & Johnson I like. Give me more drug companies. AbbVie I like. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. So we're in a downtrend. The good thing that you have going for you on Qualcomm is you're falling right into support right here. You're falling right into support right here. So that is a good thing for you. So this thing, because you're hitting the support and you're falling down like this, you can easily get this thing turning back up on you and making some kind of run. So let's just be patient with this one. I think this is a great looking one to throw on your watch list and going from there. So Takeda is an interesting company. Takeda had a very, very good drug. Amgen, I'm not a fan of, Michael. I don't like Amgen. Biogen, I love. Takeda is interesting. They make a really good drug. Damn, I can't remember the name of the drug off the top of my head. I think it's for colorectal cancer. I can't remember the name. Starts with a J, I think. Jazz sucks. It starts with a J, I think. Damn. Jacophy? I don't know. Vertex, pass. Intel holding support very nicely. Really holding support very nicely. And you can see that it's just kind of bouncing around in there at all these moving averages. So eventually, this thing will, even if this turns down and comes back down here, I just don't foresee it, unless the market falls apart. I don't foresee it dropping below this $52 level. That's the issue. So if we can get some good volume, see the volume on Intel has been extremely inconsistent for the last 3 months. It's just up, down every day. We need to get some consistency in there. And I would really like to see some consistency over the average volume. It's weird. Intel is very much confusing me lately because we have everything that's happening in this market, and Intel is not getting hit with the volatility. It's very, very, very interesting to me. So we'll keep a watch on this one. In my opinion, I've said it for a very long time. I'd rather go at Intel from a value perspective than a trading perspective, but yeah. All right, let's look at Ford. Old Ford. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Let's zoom here. Let's see what we got. Just want to make, okay, so those are the highs up there. So this was the flagpole pattern. This is when they announced that their Ford truck was coming out. And then I said this thing is for sure going to come back down, and it certainly did. So now it's building back up. Now it's creating W formations. This is how you want to make a climb to the top, creating these support levels in here, and that's what it's doing. So we're looking really good here. We got 2 consistent days of good volume over average. So let's see what's going to happen with that over the next couple days, but I love it. And if you get an engulfing candlestick over this price, go ahead and add to it. This is one that I happen to own a couple shares of. What else do we have here? Intel's turning into a hype stock. No. I don't think so. All right. Would you short-term trade a company like Intuit during tax season? You certainly can. I mean, you certainly can. I don't know if there's any history that says like, yes, this is what happens during tax season, but you absolutely can. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out and see we have here, and we had a lot of consolidation in here. You saw that we created a wick right here and came right back up. So right now we're hitting this support level. I like that we're hitting support. We're on the bottom of the stochastic. So this thing, I would look for it to turn back up. I do not foresee it coming down in these levels. And if it does, oh my God, that's only $2. This thing's a dinosaur stock. This is a tough one to trade, guys, just because you don't get a lot of action on it. So keep watching it. Keep watching it. Okay, next. Macy's. Why don't we look at Macy's? Here's a Christmas stock. So Macy's is, let's do 1 year. Oh, good run. Why don't we look at 2 year? Where was COVID? Yep, you're good. Macy's broke through, so that's good. All right, so with Macy's, I wouldn't be in it long because you're teetering up here. If you were going to do anything, go over here. Use a swing trade method on this and try to run this thing up. You got a little gap up here to fill. You'll probably, if you can get some good volume going, you can probably run this up back over $25 or something like that. But just, you got to be patient with this one. Got to get some news in there. Let's see, what else do we have? ASO. What's ASO? Oh, this is that Academy Sports thing. So I remember they went to crazy highs. Yeah. And now they're coming back down a little bit. They're falling right into that 50 and 25-day moving average, big downtrend that's happening right now. So they're going to hold some kind of, man, I can't draw a line with this new mouse. There we go. Close enough. They're going to hold some kind of support. I would probably short them under maybe 38.50. I could just tell you what this level is. 38.62, probably somewhere under there. I would start looking at them for a short, but right now I would just be patient and wait for that engulfing candlestick. Mo, do you trade crypto at all? Seems like the volatility would be easier from a trader to exploit. Logan, I don't personally, but you absolutely can using my method. It'll be perfectly fine. But my advice to you would be use stops. I actually thought of the idea I kind of want to do. So we're looking at setting up momentum trading, and it's going to be for stocks and futures and commodities. Well, what futures and commodities are basically the same thing in a lot of ways. But I was like, why don't I just throw crypto in there and go based on that? So if you want to read the Turtle Trading book, that's the book that I'm referencing. What stocks do you use to trade oil? I just like the big boys, Chevron, BP, Shell, Exxon, etc. All right, let's look at Facebook. So Facebook's still getting beaten down. Why don't we, I'm going to zoom out just a touch. I want to see if there's any other support in this area. Oh, no, there's not. So you're banking on what happened in the summer with this maybe 2-week period, 3-week period. So if we bust through here, you're coming down, maybe. You're coming down below $300. I guess your next support is 316.58. If you come down through there, you can really get moving to the downside. The volume is very sporadic. I don't like that, but it has fallen off the last 4 days. So let's just keep watching Facebook. If you get an engulfing candlestick today below all 4 days last week, all 5 days last week, you can go ahead and do that. Will you do a trading live stream? Yeah, I'll do it one of these days. I don't really want to, but I will do it one of these days. Let's look at XOM. XOM, great looking trend. And more importantly than trend here, well, I shouldn't say that. As important as trend here, I want to look because these things have really soared. And what have they done? They've created these nice W formations. So this is looking very good. I was just looking to not have a flagpole pattern. Let's look at BP. Same thing, creating great W formations. Let's look at RDS, Royal Dutch. Not bad. CVX. Yeah, so you notice, guys, these are creating these W formations moving up. So they're creating very nice levels of support in there and going from there. Next. Momentum equals hype. Momentum doesn't equal hype. Momentum equals I'm buying the S&P 500, and whatever happens is I could very well have BP and Chevron in there, and that's not hype if it hits my parameters. Let's see here. PSX. Phillips 66. This one I don't like. Because I don't actually, it's funny. I had Phillips 66 and I sold it. I think I sold it at $88 back here. Yeah. Anyways, I don't like this because we made W formation, and then flagpole from $70 to $82. This thing is going to come back down here, I promise you. Don't get too excited here. So Phillips 66 is one that I really don't like right now. Next. COP. I remember looking at that one. I think I liked that one a lot. Yep, good. Looking good. W formation, ConocoPhillips, making great W's, moving up. Now you're getting into that overbought area, so be careful with that. The stock market is closed today. The stock market is not closed today. The bond market is closed today. The stock market should be closed today, but it ain't. All right, Delta Airlines, looking great. Good looking trend. You're facing some volume issues and 200-day moving average issues, but it is moving up there. Let's just look at United Airlines while we're at it. I'm sure it's going to look exactly the same. Yeah. I mean, it's looking the same, running into the 200, volume issues. Your stochastic is not as high on the bottom. The markets are closed in Canada. Sweet. What is the difference between momentum trading and swing trading? So momentum trading is very black box. You're going to use algorithms, and the computer is actually going to tell you inside of a program what stocks to buy and sell. There's zero thinking. It's just execute the trade as told. That's it. There's nothing else that goes with it. So stock market looks like it's now open. Yep, I saw movement on my screen. I will do one more, and then I'm going to roll. Actually, I'll do two more because I want to do Sun, and then I'll do SoFi. Josh, just because you have Prison Mike as your picture, I will do SoFi for you. Looking really good. If you get an engulfing candlestick taking out this is Sunoco. Let me zoom just before. I want to confirm. I'm going to go candles. Just before I say something that I don't mean. Yeah, you're good. So as long as if you can get an engulfing candlestick today, like so, taking out this high, you will be very good situation. The volume is a little sporadic. I don't love it, but we will keep a watch on it. All right, next. Last one, SoFi. Okay, so SoFi, congratulations on being 200 days old. I like that. Also, congratulations on having some of the biggest volume fall off I've seen all day. All right, so with this one, I would not touch this just right now because A, I want to get through the 100 and 200 day moving average up here. B, I want to get some volume coming in. And C, you are at a very strong resistance point right there, which is about 18 bucks, which is about the 200 day moving average. And then it's going to be a rough go for you. So SoFi, I would think that you can probably, this is plus 4%. I mean, this is looking like a really good looking day trading stock. I would just go throw it on a 15-minute chart and go from there. And because Prison Mike has entered the chat, we will celebrate. So, okay, anyways, so that's it, guys. That's it for today. I will see you in 21. That's not right. I'll see you in 23 and a half hours right back here. Same time, same place. Bond market will be open. Then the stock market should appropriately be open, and we'll go from there. Have a great day.